Good morning, everyone. For number 1, 2, and 3, I will go over them quickly. Okay. These were all financials that I approved while we were between meetings. September 25th, the highlights were revenue certification for Transit Department for course insurance reimbursement for bus damage, appropriation transfers for the juvenile court for salary increases, and the Transit Department for additional appropriations for fuel purchases, supplemental appropriation for the pretrial release supervision fund for unspent grant funds for state fiscal year 2014, cash transfers out of the general fund for portions of 2014 funding for the sheriff's 800 communications and 911 program operating funds. Encumbrances included a contract with Tyco Integrated Security LLC for the purchase and installation of video recording system at the Safety Center for the Maintenance Department in the amount of $29,860. Travel request for Common Police Court, Job and Family Services, and the Probate Juvenile Court. Vouchers included payment number 2 to Envirocom Construction Incorporated for the Thompson Sewer Project, Contract B, project for community development in the amount of $130,826.14. A payment to Infinity Paving Company for the Geauga County Fairground Sidewalk and Parking Facilities Improvement Project for the community development in the amount of $63,540. A payment to Geauga Mechanical Company for the purchase of a 10-ton split unit for the data center in the amount of $24,500. And a payment to Spillman Technologies for the 911 CAD annual maintenance contract in the amount of $95,939. That was September 25th. September 30th, we had supplemental appropriation transfers, including a supplemental appropriation for water resources for the implementation of the technical wage scale, union wage increases, and increased overtime and materials and advertising costs. An appropriation transfer to return appropriations to the Sheriff's Office for web check and other expenses reimbursed and deposited in the general fund. Cash transfers out of the general fund for the second and third quarter portion of payroll funding for the Office of Community and Economic Development. Encumbrances included a purchase order for Lebanon Ford for the state bid purchase of a 2014 Ford SUV for the Department of Emergency Services in the amount of $23,966.08. Travel requests for the Common Police Court, Department of Job and Family Services, and the Recorder's Office. Vouchers included pay request number 12 for Goschak Building Company for the Bessie Benner Messenbaum Center Residential Remodel Downsizing Project in the amount of $87,731. A payment to Ravenwood Mental Health Center for the fourth quarter 2014 Youth Center funding in the amount of $104,105.01. A payment to the Corey's Geauga Juvenile Detention Center for fourth quarter 2014 in the amount of $113,170. And a payment to GPD Associates for engineering services for the Troy Oaks wastewater treatment plant conversion for the Department of Water Resources in the amount of $25,561.45. And finally, last Thursday, we had a couple very minor ones. So we had a small financial revenue certification for the Building Standards Assessment Fund and a supplemental appropriation for the Sheriff's Office Fair Rotary Fund in order to post payroll. There's no action required. I'm just notifying the board. Okay. It's been approved. All right. So for number 4, 5, and 6, both Blake and myself were here for the meeting. So if we want to do a read
together.
That, yep.
Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the minutes for the meeting of September 9, 2014. The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the minutes for the meeting of September 11, 2014. The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the minutes for the meeting of September 16, 2014.
So moved. Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Yes.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye. Motion approved. Okay. So we're good with those. 5 and 6. So today we are going to have Katie present the financials for October 7th.
Good morning. Good morning. Financials for today include a supplemental appropriation for Job and Family Services for replacement costs, An appropriation transfer to maintenance for an upgrade to the UPS system at the safety center. Cash transfers, transfer out of the general fund to fund liability insurance for 2014. Encumbrances, contract for the Geauga County Airport Authority for the FAA project to install obstruction light on existing stack and conduct aeronautical survey in the amount of $90,500. Travel request for the Common Police Court, Community Development, and Public Defender. Vouchers, a payment to Lakeland Management Systems for the engineer's new office building in the amount of $40,000. A payment to Byers Chevrolet for the state bid purchase of 4 2014 Impalas for the Sheriff's Office in the amount of $87,642.40. And a payment to Trapeze Software for the software maintenance contract for the Transit Department in the amount of $22,597.
On the UPS, we've got, okay, good enough. Okay. So
second.
I'm supposed to be.
I'm like,
Sit over here. You know.
I'm like, I changed all my things,
No,
and then
please don't.
they're taking all of it. Commissioner Rear.
Yes. Aye.
Motion approved. Okay.
All right, 8, 9, 10, and 11. You have all these together if you wish.
Okay, so,
It's just the state of the county.
okay, so let's go ahead with the read on that.
The county auditor is requesting the board accept, execute, and file the monthly statement of county finances filed by the county auditor for the month of July 2014, pursuant to ORC 319.15. The county auditor is requesting the board accept, execute, and file the monthly statement of county finances filed by the county auditor for the month of August 2014, pursuant to ORC 319.15. The county treasurer is requesting the board accept, execute, and file the monthly statement of county finances filed by the county treasurer for the month of July 2014, pursuant to ORC 319.15. The county treasurer is requesting the board accept, execute, and file the monthly statement of county finances filed by the county treasurer for the month of August 2014, pursuant to ORC 319.15.
I'm so moved.
Second.
Commissioner Rear?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye. Motion stands approved.
Gotcha.
And let's see, for Department of Aging, Sarah, how are you? Or Jessica?
Good.
Morning.
Good morning.
I'm not trying to. Hi, Jessica. How are you?
I'm good. So far, so good. So I'm here today because our food contract will be up December 31st. So, you know, we do the home-delivered meals as well as congregate meals in all of our centers. So the contract is up, so we'd like to go to bid.
Okay. Alrighty, if we could do a read on number 12.
The Department on Aging is requesting the board grant permission to advertise for bids for the elderly nutrition program for Geauga County residents age 16 and over to be held on Wednesday, October 29, 2014 at 2 o'clock p.m. Notice of this bid opening will be advertised on October 9, 2014 and on the county website.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Rear?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye, motion approved. Thanks, Jessica.
Thanks.
Okay. Eddie, we've got the airport.
Morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. Yourself?
Very good. Well, this morning we are here just to acknowledge that we have electronically requested reimbursement number 1 for our FAA grant. It is in the amount of $12,500. It covers the engineering for the project, and $11,250 of it is reimbursed by FAA, and $1,250 is the local match.
Okay. Very easy. Number 13, if we could do a read.
The Geauga County Airport Authority is requesting the board acknowledge and approve reimbursement of request number 1 for FAA Project 3390054-0172014 in the amount of $12,500, $11,250 FAA portion, and $1,250 local match.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Rear?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye, motion approved.
And it's done all electronics, so there's nothing you need to sign.
Oh, nice.
I have one question for you, Patty. If
Oh,
you don't mind.
absolutely.
The ongoing issue with the light poles, the power poles and wires. We had a presentation met Dave Dillon a week or two, a meeting or two back, and if we had any issues. So I did call him about that and ask him, and got the same answer that you've been telling us all along. Is there any chance that he said it's going to be $1 million to move those 5 poles, which...
Well, what the prosecutor's office is looking into now is if, whenever you make any construction around the airport, there are certain paperwork that you have to file, some of it with ODOT, some of it with FAA. If some of those poles have been replaced at any time and the proper paperwork wasn't filed, then they may have to replace them again on their own.
On their own dime.
Put them underground. So once we do all that research, we'll know more as to what's going to be our responsibility and getting that
What's
done.
the time frame? I mean,
Well, they've
back
been there
to-
now
back to-
since 1968 when we opened the airport. So at this point, it's a matter
I gotta
of...
believe those poles have been replaced in '68, wouldn't you?
I would think there may have been some, and they may have filed all the necessary paperwork. They may have not. So that's what we're researching, those types of things now. It is a safety issue. However, there are trees that are taller than the poles at the moment. So those trees that are not on airport property also have to be taken down. And we'll be applying for a grant next May to cover whatever we can get from the FAA to cover that portion. And we may only be able to do a small amount at a time if that's what it takes.
Cut a lot of trees for rolling down.
You betcha. You betcha.
Okay, thank you. I just wondered where that was at.
So right now we're in the process of getting permission from all the nearby landowners that have either trees or poles to be able to enter their property and take down trees and things like that. Our airport board is looking to replace some of the trees. There is 2 families across the street from the runway that will lose the majority of the trees on their property. What we would like to do with that is to replace those with trees that are slower growing and only grow to a specific height. So we're going to work with those families as best we can. We want to be good neighbors. So that's where we're at with all of that. And we're still doing the research on it right now.
Okay, thank you. I just wondered where that was with the...
Yeah.
That's a big chunk of change.
It is, and it's unfortunate. Like I said, they've been there since the airport opened, those same power lines, and it hasn't caused an incident, but it is causing us now. It's on FAA's radar, and we have lost our night minimums to fly into the airport at night until we correct those obstructions. We can't correct those obstructions until this aeronautical survey is complete because of lack of data. So that's what we're in the process of doing, and then we'll start clearing out all the obstructions and make sure everything's safe and clear for everybody that's flying there.
Okay, thank you.
And that's our objective, is just to make it safe. That's what we have to do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, for the number 14, Department of Emergency Services, is Tara.
Morning.
Morning,
Good
Tara.
morning.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Good.
Yep.
Basically, the Department of Emergency Services is asking for permission to submit Michael Casper's name up to the CERC for appointment onto the local emergency planning commission.
I don't have an issue with
All right, if we could do a read on that then.
The Department of Emergency Services is requesting the board approve and authorize the president of the board to execute the application for appointment for Michael Casper to the State Emergency Response Commission clerk for appointment to the Geauga County Local Emergency Planning Committee, LEPC, for the period ending August 14th, 2015.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Reer?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye, motion approved. Thank you, Tara.
Thank you.
Okay, the County Engineer's Office. Morning, Frank.
Morning, Commissioners. Good morning. A couple of final change orders here. The first one is for Pontiac Paving Inc. on Wooden Road, and then the other one is with Curtin Scott Contractors, and that's on CH601 Ravenna Road. The Roniak one came in at about $10,000 under, and then the Curtin Scott one's about $3,000 over for some culvert and some other things.
Okay. Alrighty, sounds good. So if we could read number 15 and 16.
The County Engineer's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute change order number 1 and final, decreasing the contract with Roniak Paving Incorporated for the widening and asphalt resurfacing of Wooden Road CH-25 in Chardon and Hamden Townships in the amount of $10,083.73. The County Engineer's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute change order number 1 and final, increasing the contract with Burton Scott Contractors, LLC for the improvements at culverts 601-020 and 601-2.28 on Ravenna Road in Chardon Township in the amount of $3,240.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye. Motion is approved. Thank you,
Thank
Frank.
you.
Have a good day. Okay. We have the maintenance department. Morning, Glenn. Good, good.
This is to add $1,000. This is kind of my fault in the contract. In the middle section, it said to work night shift would be an extra $1,000 for the total cost. I didn't see that, and so the project really went well. They were supposed to do it in 4 days. They did it in 3 days. So it really looks great. They repaired a lot of the cracks in the concrete floor. So they really did an outstanding job.
So with that $1,000, how was that compared to some of the other bids? Were we still within?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah. With this particular one, the one that was the lowest, he called and said he was going out of business.
Okay.
So and then the next one was about another $6,000.
Okay. So even with this, we're still
Yes.
lower. Okay, so.
I saw the carpet job. It looks nice.
So major improvement. I mean, that last one really took a serious beating.
Okay.
As we know, we did all the hallways and the foyer areas. We didn't do the office areas. So it really blends in good.
Nice.
So with 2 different colors for the hallways and 1 color for the foyer area. So that was really good. So.
Alrighty. So then if we could do a read on number 17.
The Maintenance Department is requesting the Board approve and execute change order number 1, increasing the contract with Burton Carpet Shop Incorporated for carpet installation and job and family services in the amount of $1,000.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye. Motion stands approved. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Sheriff's Office.
How are you? Excuse me?
Sheriff, how are you? Good to see you. How you doing, sir? How are you?
Get up there, dog.
Yeah, how come we never take your call?
She worked the whole crowd today.
That's cute. That's cute.
Dogs got our vote. Yeah. We're here today requesting the board sign a quarterly sub-grant report in the amount of $6,281.20. This is a small grant. Actually, it's the second one we've received that we've used to acquire MDTs, the mobile data terminals, as we work towards the replacement of those units with newer technology. This particular grant, the local match, was paid for out of the LET fund, which is the account where seized money, profits from criminal acts are put into. So try to make a little bit of crime does pay here.
Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, so then if we could do a read on number 18.
The Sheriff's Office is requesting the Board approve and authorize the President of the Board to execute the Ohio Office of Criminal Justice Services Quarterly Sub-Grant Report 2013-JG LLE 5108 for the period ending August 31st, 2014 in the amount of $6,281.20.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
All right, motion approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
And the Transit Department.
Oh, Mike could not be here this morning.
Okay.
So this is simply the refund, periodic refund for this July 1 through September 30th of the motor fuel tax.
Repeat repeat that, Dave?
I'm sorry. This is simply the quarterly application for motor fuel tax refund for transit buses.
Okay. If we could do a read on that.
The Transit Department is requesting the Board approve and authorize the President and the Board to execute the Ohio Motor Fuel Tax Refund Claim for transit buses for the period July 1st, 2014 through September 30th, 2014 in the amount of $2,706.21.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spiller?
Aye, motion stands approved. Okay.
Water resource.
Water Resources. Morning, Jerry.
Hi, good morning.
So what do we have today? Canyon Lake?
Yes, the first item here is the Forest Ridge Landing subdivision at Canyon Lakes. It's a 5-lot subdivision off of Lookout Drive. And this one actually is just approving the final plat for platting the lots, but it's also approving a sanitary easement for future construction of sanitary sewer for those lots.
Copy of the same thing.
Okay.
I like the small
Just,
one.
if you can, just point out to us real quick, Jerry, on this map here.
Actually, it's a little hard because they don't show the Lookout Drive. They don't show up off of Flintlock Ridge here.
Okay.
And it's just a little 5-lot.
Okay, here on the second page, or third page back, it's depicted better right here.
Okay.
So they're going to be putting in a little bump out of asphalt there. The sewer line actually will come across from the opposite side of Lookout, under Lookout, and then just be one run up here for all these lots to tie into.
Okay.
Each lot, their water connection will actually tie directly into the water line that we have on Lookout Drive.
Okay.
There's no new water line with
This is the one that they changed the name.
Yeah, it was originally called Overlook Landing when the construction plans were approved. But there was already an Overlook Drive in Lake Lucerne and Bainbridge, so they've changed their names.
I see.
Any confusion?
Okay.
And this has no significant impact on capacity. I mean,
No, this was all
it was all
included in the original agreement with Canyon Lakes development from 25 years ago or so.
Okay. Okay, so then if we can do a read on that.
The Department of Water Resources is requesting the Board approve and execute the final plat of sanitary sewer and water line easements for the Forest Ridge Landing subdivision in the Canyon Lakes development in Bainbridge Township.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spiller?
Aye, motion approved.
Did not work. Do you have one in your drawer? Or no? Try to put one in each one so we can check them.
It's just the cover sheet.
Just the cover sheet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just don't put them away, we have one more.
Okay.
This is the other one. This is the second.
Okay. And basically,
This is actually Gates Landing, which is a little bit larger. They're actually done with the construction on this one, so they're subdividing the lots as well as doing the easements for sewer, and this includes new water. Both the water and the sewer are in the ground currently and have been approved by the fire department.
okay. All right. Okay. If we can, then let's go ahead and do a read on both of those.
The Department of Water Resources is requesting the Board approve and execute the final plat of sanitary sewer and water line easements for the Gates Landing subdivision in Canyon Lakes development in Bainbridge Township.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spiller?
Aye. Both motions stand
Looking
approved.
for
Yeah. The
some
first
kind of a
one,
retaining device.
that's the first one. And then this one is the second.
Okay.
But I didn't sign that one, I don't think yet.
Oh.
Here,
I'll take care of that.
you wrap it up while I sign.
All right.
Need smaller. Here's yours. He came over with the print.
All right.
We're at number 22.
Okay. So now we've got Robert Truck.
Yeah, Robert was working for us as full-time summer help. He's going to school and he's able to continue working. So he's been very, very helpful down at the McFarland plant. So we wanted to reclassify him to the temporary part-time seasonal help.
We could do a read on 22.
The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board reclassify Robert Trope from full-time summer help 0101 to temporary part-time seasonal help 0101 at a rate of $8.25 per hour to be effective October 1st, 2014 through December 31st, 2014 for up to 13 weeks, a maximum of 360 hours.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye. Motion approved. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good
Thanks.
day.
You too.
No, not on that.
So on number 23, the Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve and authorize President of the Board to execute the updated application for authorization to permit the use of county credit cards. Form Personnel Policy 7.11 from the Ohio Revised Code 301.27 for the Transit Department, the Geauga Credit Union Visa and Staples card for Mike Casper, Jack Jackson, and Kate Library.
This is updating the forms.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye. Motion approved. Okay, so that one. Okay, so there's that. So 24 is Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve and authorize the President of the Board to execute the updated accounting forms authorization form for the Transit Department.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye. Motion approved. You want to read the next one too?
Okay. The Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve and authorize the President of the Board to execute the updated accounting forms authorization form for the Archives and Records Center.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye. Motion approved.
And 26 and 27 are copied together.
Okay.
And I'll just put this whole stack here. Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve and authorize the President of the Board to execute the updated accounting forms authorization form for the Commissioner's Office. The Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve and authorize the President of the Board to execute the updated payroll authorization form for the Commissioner's Office.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye. Motion approved. Just get a few of these out of the way here.
That was nice. I only did 2 of these. I'll make So we're at 28.
And Kathy and Linda, I'm not sure if you're, oh,
They're here.
they're both here.
They're both here.
Okay. Do we want to go ahead and move on that?
You want to come up and
Come up
talk
and
about
tell
it,
us
or-
what 28's about.
Oh, so excited about 28.
Yeah. You've been waiting all vacation to come back here and
Yeah.
talk about number 28.
Yes. Go Browns.
Yeah.
We still bet.
Alrighty, so we're here today to talk about the Affordable Care Act resolution. What this basically is according to the Affordable Care Act passed in March 23rd of 2010, we have to adhere to this policy, which is an employee who averages 30 or more hours per week during a certain measurement period must be offered health care. This goes into effect on January 1st of 2015. This has been in the works and then was delayed, and it's now a reality. So in good faith, we felt that the commissioners would want to pass a resolution about this.
showing that we are going to do our best to adhere to this policy, where we are establishing a measurement period, or a look-back period, I should say, look-back measurement period, a stability period, and an administrative period. Those are required by law. So that's what we're here today to do.
So let's go ahead and, any questions?
No.
We move ahead with number 29.
Well, 28.
Or 29.
Sorry. Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve next case resolution number 14-156, Affordable Care Act ACA procedure and policy for Geauga County.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye. Motion approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we want to do number 29. This would be Dave. Do you want to
This will be to do the management review for our maintenance department. This will be the third department under your authority.
and not to exceed 7,000.
Right.
And they waived all the preliminary costs again, just because
Correct.
of the.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any questions? None. Let's do a read on number 29.
The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute a management consultant agreement with Clemens Nelson Associates Incorporated to provide management and/or fiscal consulting services in labor, employment, and other areas as requested for a departmental analysis study of the maintenance department for the period of 1 year in an amount not to exceed $7,000.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye. Motion stands approved. Okay, so all the parties that are involved with the Woodhill Drive, if you want to approach the front here, so we could discuss this. Hey, Andy, how are you? Good. So, I guess to start out, Andy, do you want to start this out?
I can. Basically, for history of
Okay.
how it came to our office, Township requested a vacation of extension from the temporary cul-de-sac of Woodhill Drive.
Okay.
That is a highway easement sublots. And what we're doing is vacating the easement for approximately 177 feet from the temporary cul-de-sac, which will become the permanent cul-de-sac.
Okay.
And the abutting property owners, including sublots 18 and 19, and the large parcel at the end, all basically have access to the cul-de-sac. That is our approach on this.
Okay.
As for details of where we stand right now, we've surveyed, we traced the survey, prepared the vacation easements, vacation of the easements for 18 and 19, and are currently working on insurance report for the next, for the year.
Okay.
Paul, there's no way to
No problem. No problem. Just to help us understand a little bit more. So when we vacate this, approximately 60 feet.
The 60 feet width
Okay.
of the current Woodhill extension from the cul-de-sac.
Okay. And that would be split how?
It reverts back to sublots 18 and 19 because it is a highway easement over private property.
Okay.
There's a little more detailed sketch of where we're working on right now.
Okay. Because to give us a better understanding, the issue I think that's at the table today is that the lot that is kind of landlocked back there is the Violet property. Okay, and access to this right now is from where?
there's
Okay. So what, the lot that we want to move to vacate would be
It joins, it's really lightly shown here. This would be the pilot project.
okay.
This lot here. This is
So sensibly, this lot here would make just so much more sense to be able to have access from this point to this lot.
access, there is access now, currently.
Okay.
There, with the highway easement. Now that we're vacating the easement, 30 feet goes, 30 feet, this is sublot 19 and 18 own to the center line
Okay.
of the right of way.
Okay.
Okay, they still own that. The highway easement is being extinguished. There is no transfer of land back from the commissioners
Right.
to the sublots. So basically, these two lots have access to the cul-de-sac. And this lot here still maintains access,
So-
but not public access.
So let me ask you this: why would we want to move forward to vacate this? If we're in a situation that this was already planned this way, why would we want to vacate this and just have Montville put access to that lot of what it was originally established as?
Well, that's the township's.
The township's actually petitioned you
That's
to
right.
vacate it.
Right. And I
For
guess
that.
I'm asking you, as a representative of the engineer's office, Frank, help us on this. I mean, I think that there's a certain amount of common sense that kind of overrules on this of saying, you've got this amount of distance to this driveway that was originally put in place for that.
It was for future development.
Right.
Here's what it looks like it was what intended for.
Yeah. You see
Well,
what?
yeah, I'm trying to get a handle on this. Why Montville would want to vacate this, it other than they wouldn't be responsible for it, maintenance-wise or road-wise, what's the advantage of to Montville that they would want to? Why would they request? And I'm not.
There's
That we do anything with this other than, unless if by vacating it we don't pave it, or they don't pave it, whoever paves it, we don't plow it, we don't maintain it.
correct.
And so that's an advantage to the township as such. But the right-of-way or easements to the, I had the name on it here, Byler property, is still there, so they can still access that portion of their land without putting in a 2,000-foot driveway. I don't know how long is that thing. I mean, that's a long way.
It's quite. I've not measured it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm being. It's long. It's
Yeah,
real long and impractical.
And I guess the next question would be this: is where do we stand as far as, with the township to say you need to put something in there? I mean, where do we stand with that?
Basically, right now, the direction by the township was the request to
Okay.
vacate.
We're only acting on their request.
I see.
If they would want to, I guess the flip of that, if they would want to improve that,
Right.
they would have to improve it to the current subdivision standards, which are expensive as well. So there is a double side to this issue that the township has weighed and chose this action, as far as I can tell, without any more.
We would assume that
Detail.
discussion took place at their meeting.
Okay.
All that is on here today is to acknowledge that we received a petition from Montville to do a resolution of means and necessity that sets a public hearing, to hold a public hearing to hold
Okay.
discussion on
And
it.
then at that public hearing, we can hear arguments
Correct.
for
And
and
then you
and
have-
against.
And then you will have time
Okay.
before your required time frame of 60 days to make a decision.
Okay.
Yeah, because based on what I have here, I'd need to see.
Right. Me too. I just have a little bit of a difficulty when they plan this, and now they want to
and they can do that.
Right, and there's nothing on the two lots that are on either side, which again are I don't even know who owns this lot. Is that contiguous with the Byler property? This lot here.
Sublot 19 is this lot here.
Yeah, who owns that?
This name on here.
I don't know. All I have is just the three property owners. This is the large parcel, and I don't know who's who.
This would be the Sudniks. This would be the Sudnik property.
Okay. So there's two owners, and they have nothing permanent, no permanent structures or anything on that 60-foot easement, right?
There is a home on this one lot.
A home on that Sidnick or whatever that property, but that's not in.
It's not in the easement, no.
Right.
All I've seen is in that 177-foot extension is it looks like a path. That's for ingress and egress. Now, whether the Bylers are utilizing that or the property owners, they can't utilize it. But there is a path.
They have been utilizing it for ingress and egress.
Okay.
Mr. Byler.
Okay, well, my question is then essentially, it's going to become a driveway. But who's going to own the driveway? If it's, this lot can come off the cul-de-sac here, this lot can come off here, but the lot that's landlocked in the back there, it's going to be his driveway that goes through there.
There's no transfer of property with the vacation. It's just the extinguishment of the highway easement over the properties of sublot 1918. Access by all abutting property owners, which the Byler property is an abutting property owner. It should be maintained privately. There's a statement in the ORC2 for utilities. If there's utilities in that right of way, they maintain the right to maintain their utilities through trimming trees and gaining access to them. If there is utilities, I don't know that fact, but that's the kind of access is there now, and that will be maintained, ingress, egress, whether there is a document or not. Okay. It's by necessity. I can't think of terms in my order. So, the surveyor.
I would like to argue that that's a devaluation of the property. That
just have to state your name.
Mark DeLazel with MD Realty. I'm representing the buyer and the seller of this property.
Okay.
I agree that was put in for future development. Now we have a buyer who wishes to develop that. And when we went to Montville to inquire about the assurance of that access, that's when they hurriedly said, we need to vacate this.
Okay. So the intent is that someone's going to, if that road is maintained as it was platted or whatever, and then they pave it into here, this large piece of property is going to be subdivided into home sites?
He plans to build a home site.
One home on that. I don't know what the acreage is.
The other access is not feasible. It crosses wetlands.
This piece that goes out to
if you look at the third drawing, there's an aerial showing the wetlands and basically the swamp that it crosses. So it's not feasible access at all.
Yeah, it's just...
that just shows you the distances.
Mr. Dietrich, did you have anything you'd like to add?
No, I'm just here because Frank said maybe you want to hang around. So.
Okay. Were you involved in this original replat? Were you involved at all with when they did this?
Oh, I was here.
Yeah.
It was potential future development, but it's what's kind of unique about this is you indicated. Ordinarily, in platted subdivisions, the sublots go to the edge of the road right away, and in this case, these folks that have the adjoining sublots actually hold title to the center line. So all you're doing, or all you may be considering, let me put it that way, I'm not sure what might happen here, obviously, but would be consideration of the vacation of the right-of-way easement, as, again, Andy indicated. There's not going to be any change in acreage at all.
I guess my biggest concern is that this is a pretty important decision here because, like you could see on this map from Clay Street, you're basically going through a swamp. it's going to be difficult and pretty costly to get to that location. Off of Woodhill, that's plotted to be able to have access specifically for that. Where does a buyer stand to protect his interest and his down the road rights? To say all of a sudden now it's the neighbors that actually own to the middle, and the other neighbor owns to the other center. I mean, it makes me a little bit uncomfortable, and I think that's just reasonable thinking on anybody's part.
Well, Commissioner, maybe you want to look into this a little bit further when you reach the.
But I mean, is it a sensible argument, or
are we missing something? Basically, are we missing something here? What happens? Okay, and down the road, if these two lots own to that common lot line,
right now,
and down the
they own to the center line. Right, is that correct?
Yeah, and in the future, I don't know, people get in a tiff with their neighbor or something like that, and all of a sudden, I'm sure there's a lot of lawyers that could figure out that they have legal access to this, but it looks like it could be problematic down the road for someone in this landlocked piece of property. That's all I'm.
And maybe, but again, as Christine said, this is an acknowledgement from the Montville.
In other words, we're not making a decision today.
We'll have public hearings and other meetings.
I think
and I think that getting it out and understanding there's potential issues, whatever, it'll be hammered out.
Yeah, but I'd love to hear from the folks at Montville why they feel this is a necessary.
Right.
I mean,
I'd also like to interject one other thing.
Oh,
my name is Keith Kickle. I'm the prospective buyer.
And your name?
Keith Kickle, Kickel. And when I talk to the zoning of Montville, they also require, don't ask me how they've come up with this figure, but if you have a piece of property on a cul-de-sac, they expect you to have 80 front feet on the cul-de-sac. So now what have they created with this arrangement? It was only meant to continue that street down and put another cul-de-sac in there to ever access that property. Because Clay Street could never be used, ever. So when they ever projected the manufacture of this street, Woodhill, is to continue it through, or it could never be used.
Right. I mean, you could see. I mean, and that's where when I looked at this morning, it's pretty clear and obvious what the whole intent was with that easement that they got there, specifically to basically put access, to that parcel. So,
because that's where they even stop me. They say you're going to need 80 front feet. So thus, then I would already have to be buying more property off of somebody that has a vacant piece of property in there to do something to it.
Well, the house, the lot that has the house on it.
There's one empty one in there.
Oh, yeah, but the lot that has a house on it, if as it's situated now, they probably don't have 80 feet.
I don't.
That short side of that radius.
You're right.
You can't tell from a pencil drawing, but it looks like a pretty short distance here compared to this one has almost I don't know 150 degrees, I think, for circle or something like that.
Definitely
this
a
one
lot
here's
more. So then at this point, then we're going to go ahead and move forward to get this for the public, to have a public hearing. Are we going to have to do a viewing on this also? Are we required for a viewing?
No.
Okay. Okay. And when would we be having a public hearing?
We are set to hold a public hearing on Tuesday, October 28th at 10:30.
Okay.
I got to know more, but I think I'm prepared if we read this to move forward with the public hearing and so on. But I have to know a lot more before I would vote in the affirmative to close that out. I'm not saying I wouldn't. I just need to have more information because
I agree.
It seriously impacts current owner, the future owner, or whatever of this parcel. How many acres is that parcel, by the way?
38.77. So it's considerable size, considerable value. And I just want to clarify one answer before Dave leaves. Dave, did you say that if that is vacated, then those two sub-lots would own to the center?
They do now.
They do now.
They do, yeah.
So the only thing that gives Mr. Byler legal access is that easement remaining, correct? So if that was vacated, Mr. Byler wouldn't have any access at all? Is that?
Well, Mark, he's got his frontage on Clay.
Yeah, but that's not feasible.
I'm saying he's not technically.
It's not landlocked technically.
Right. But
how wide is that frontage? Or that
50,
50, so it's
59.
not even 59. So it's a foot under. Isn't it supposed to be 60 feet for easement on?
For a road right of way, Commissioner, but we're talking about frontage.
Well, it's way under what the frontage is, probably 200 feet or something. If you were subdividing something,
right? Unless on a cul-de-sac, as noted previously, 240 feet frontage is required. On a cul-de-sac is 80 in Montville, which is not unusual because cul-de-sac lots are usually pie-shaped.
Right.
That's not an unusual.
By the time they get back to where the building site is, there's plenty of frontage. When they move 100 feet off the edge of the road or something, 125 feet back.
That's right. At the setback line, it would be 240 feet, you see, to meet the width requirement.
Right.
Frontage is measured at the road right-of-way.
Well, it's a fact of life. I mean, if you're going to build houses off a circle,
right.
I've got so much frontage there.
I just have one other question about what you were saying about what they own. I thought that they actually only own the homeowners there is that cul-de-sac. If the roadway continued on, you wouldn't have the cul-de-sac there anymore. That would be abandoned and continued into a straight roadway.
Well,
so therefore, then they would own either side of what used to be the cul-de-sac. That's what I thought.
The cul-de-sac has to stay there because, or another one constructed, because if you drive down that road, how do you turn around?
This is where it would have gone to the next.
I'll chime in on that. The original plat shows that as a temporary cul-de-sac.
Correct.
Right.
Once it was extended.
So if it was extended, then there'd be a cul-de-sac into that 38 acres probably.
Yes.
There has to be a way for fire trucks or anybody else to turn around at the end of the road.
And so the temporary cul-de-sac, if the vacation would happen, would turn into a permanent cul-de-sac.
So okay,
just for that reason,
and
built right now,
right, and then the 38-acre parcel is essentially a driveway off of that permanent cul-de-sac with road ends here, and then it's private going forward.
I believe actually the cul-de-sac was supposed to go into that 38 acres.
Well, yeah, if this extension went in, then there'd be a circle here, but you can't have a dead-end road that just doesn't have a place to turn around.
And then I think that other cul-de-sac that's there now was actually supposed to have been considered the temporary cul-de-sac as the property was to continue through. And that was where that was going to be given to each side of the road to those houses there.
Yeah, I say
read and vote this, and then we have more questions. Then I'd love to see it.
The other immediate concern of mine is that if this property is deemed pretty much with that swamp, it's not accessible. The valuation of that property would diminish to nothing. Correct?
I can answer that. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it would go down a lot. I'll buy it for nothing.
It would be a hard sell. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
That is the frontage for the parcel. That's
right.
But
okay. Well, there's a lot of open-ended questions here, and I just. This is an important decision that we have to make here to assure that this is done correctly and that somebody's not just trying to possibly get out of putting a so-called access way. You know, that's what I just don't want to see happen.
I would love to talk to the Montville trustees who requested this and just see what their argument is for.
Yeah.
I mean, there may be something here that I'm missing.
Can I add that Mr. Byler bought this at a Geauga County Sheriff's sale, and when he did his due diligence, they had told him that he had access off of Woodhill, and that was his decision in purchasing it.
How long ago was that?
You have the.
Approximately. I mean,
it's been probably a year, but they had a big sign, probably a 4x8 sheet plywood. They're right at that easement, or whatever you call that right away. There's a big sign there coming up for sure sale. They had everything right on there, and then I went around Clay Street. There's another sign. So I asked the current owners at that time, is there two right away? Yes. It went back to their dad, had a right of way going through there, and that's you can see the evidence of the vehicles and gravel in and out. So I says, well, that's good. I can get in here, but I can't get in Clay Street. So I went to the sheriff's sale and bought it.
So we should blame the sheriff.
No. Blame me.
He's going to sick the dog.
They did have those two huge signs there on both.
Right. Okay.
But he got that from the previous owner.
No, I think our next step is to go ahead and take action on this, because this isn't the final decision. The final decision is after, but we can do our due diligence through this process. There can be a hearing and so on and so forth.
All right, so let's go ahead and read number 30 then.
The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board acknowledge receipt of resolution number 2014-916 from the Montville Township Board of Trustees dated September 16, 2014, petitioning the Geauga County Board of County Commissioners to vacate the easement upon a portion of Woodhill Drive pursuant to ORC 5553.05. Hold on 1 second, I want to double check that number. Okay, 5553.045. And further request the Board approve and execute resolution number 14-157 of convenience and necessity for the vacation of a portion of Woodhill Drive, TR 731 in Montville Township, and set a public hearing to be held on Tuesday, October 28, 2014 at 10:30 a.m. Notice of this public hearing will be advertised on October 9, 2014, October 16, 2014 on the county website.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye. Motion approved for public hearing.
Thank
you.
Thank
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We get to keep all this information?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it'll all go into the file for the public hearing.
Yeah. No.
Okay, so Blake, that one is yours. And okay, for the acknowledgements, we've got the Geauga County Department on Aging Annual Report 2013 and 14. Geauga County Board of Developmental Disability Board Minutes for August 20th. Weekly report filed by the dog warden of all dogs seized, impounded, redeemed, or destroyed for the week ending September 10th. September 17th to 24th as required by ORC 955.12. Monthly report filed by the Geauga County Sheriff's Office for an account of expense for the inmate meals for the month ending in August of 2014. And a monthly report filed by the Geauga County Sheriff's Office for an account of expenses for the prisoner transport for the month ending August 2014 as required by ORC 325.07. And then for our meetings, we have on the 9th, we'll have a regular session. The 9th Geauga County Fair Board Annual Meeting, 6:30 at Mary Yoder's Amish Kitchen, Middlefield, Ohio. On Friday, we have a NOACA Board of Directors meeting, 10 a.m. in Cleveland. The 13th county offices will be closed for general business due to Columbus Day. And the regular commissioner schedule is canceled for the 14th. on the 14th Planning Commission at 7 p.m. in the Planning Commission meeting room, 1C 470. That is still on.
Until notified otherwise, yes.
Then on the 16th, Commissioners will hold the budget hearings beginning at 1 p.m. The 20th Family First Council, 2 p.m. at the Mental Health. The 21st Commissioners will hold regular session. The 21st Commissioners will hold budget hearing again at 1 p.m. The ADP Board, 2 p.m. at the Auditor's Office on the 21st.
I let Frank know if there was a possibility that no one from our office would be at that meeting due to budget hearings.
Okay. Then the 23rd, the Commissioners will hold budget hearings. The 23rd Commissioners will hold the regular session at 6:30 at the
on the meeting at 6:30. I have another place I have to be. Now, we can do this one of two ways. Okay. We can move that meeting to the morning, and then it wouldn't conflict with the.
Yeah, that's fine. We can do that.
Or I don't want to have to cancel a meeting because I don't know. There's not a quorum.
Right. I don't know. Mary said something about not being able to.
I have no idea. I just.
Okay.
Candidates like that. I gotta vote.
Yeah, that's fine. So we'll just do it at 10 o'clock in the morning. Let's move. We'll just make a motion.
We'll move on the next thing to do it in the morning.
Yeah.
So we have a motion to change the regular session from 6:30 p.m. to 10 o'clock a.m. on Thursday, October 23rd.
Do you want to do that right now?
Yep.
I move that we change the regularly scheduled meeting on the 10/23. That's to be at 6:30 p.m. to 10 in the morning.
I second that.
Commissioner Rear?
Aye.
Commissioner Spiller?
Aye. Motion approved. Skip, did you have something?
I did, if you don't mind. I'd asked of the commissioners, you've received an email on the NOACA meeting for this Friday.
Let me just finish these. Let me just finish this, and I'll hang on 1 second. So to clarify for everybody, the 23rd, our meeting is not going to be at 6:30. It's going to be at 10 o'clock in the morning. So there's no confusion there. And then on the 28th, the commissioners will hold regular session again, 10 o'clock in the morning. So go ahead, Skip.
Okay. This Friday there's going to be a meeting, general board meeting for NOACA at 10 o'clock. I would ask that you open up the meeting agenda. On page 253, the agenda item is Geauga County's options for leaving NOACA. Now, to the best of my knowledge, nobody on this board and nobody in this room has asked to leave NOACA or for them to consider options for us leaving NOACA. That's very concerning to me because of that we've not really asked for that, so their purpose is very questionable. And I've got, due to the rigors of the campaign and so on and so forth, I was actually contemplating, with due respect to this board, stepping down for the during the campaign process. But somebody needs to be at that board on Friday to ask them the question: what is the purpose? What's your intention here? Now, I may opt to go if
so
there's
it says
no
it
other
in their
option.
agenda that we're what? And I didn't look at it.
Yeah,
I'll get it.
They present options to consider regarding Geauga County's ongoing membership. And some of the ones they present, they then conclude aren't possible. But the whole idea, I think, was what Skip is bringing up, is that they're discussing something that's never been formally requested by this office.
No, it was according to the agenda that Blake has.
This is the portion of that whole document, but it's the portion right there.
That's item number 6 on their agenda.
Again, I'm not sure what their purpose is. We might ask the president when she shows up what the intent of that is. But I don't think that this board has ever asked, and certainly as an alternate, I've never asked to leave NOACA for them to consider any options in that regard, and so on and so forth. So, what their purpose is, what their intent is open for somebody to discuss, I guess, or for them to lay out on the table. But it's very concerning that they would be throwing that out there with no intent, expressed intent.
But it was recommended by the government to be presented.
So what I'm hearing you say is you would prefer personally not to go down there in your role as a...
Well, I would love to be there as an alternate to ask them that question. Unfortunately, as you're aware, the campaign has various demands which are stretching me pretty thin. There is a meeting at that time on Friday, and so I have an option to go to the NWACA meeting and or a political discussion. And so Ralph and I are talking about that as we speak, about what the alternatives, and I've been honored to serve in that role as the alternate. But I raise that up because this is not about me. This is really about the board and what NWACA is attempting to, what their intent is questionable, and we ought to be asking that question. Whether it's me at the table or, one of your alternates or one of you.
I don't understand this. I mean, I'm kind of bothered by this because what notice have we been given of this, and who took this in this direction? I don't know. I mean, when did we learn about this?
This appears to be some sort of an intimidation tactic of some kind. I'm not sure what if you read the content of what they presented, it appears through this
sure,
like an intimidation tactic of some kind, and I'm not sure why.
Skip actually brought this to Blake's attention yesterday,
and
I called NWACA. And because they asked for a copy of the agenda.
Because we ain't got the agenda.
We haven't received it in our office yet.
Yeah, we can't find a hard copy here anywhere, so
so
she got it offline, and I asked her to print this part out.
Their website yesterday.
And obviously, it's well documented. My alternate is the county engineer because the biggest. Well, I don't want to get burned on this. The biggest advantage to us with NWACA is our road funding, and I don't know roads unless they have a hole in them. He does, and that's why I wanted the county engineer to sit in my spot. I haven't been able to touch base with him personally on whether he's going to be able to be there or not for this.
What's really disturbing to me is the president of this, or the president of NWACA sits on this board as one of our commissioners, and we're finding out, a couple days before the meeting. It's pretty disturbing to me, to be quite honest with you, because, I just, at the end of the day, who is our commissioner looking out for? And that really bothers me when I'm reading through some of these options, especially when she's on the governance committee and president of the board. While she's vacationing in Europe, we're finding this out 3 days before the meeting. It doesn't sit well with me. I'm not at all, thrilled, and I just, this is not something that could have come up today that she could not have had knowledge about before she left. So,
well, and just for information, by the way, the road dollars are important, and I have put a request into Joe. That's the reason we go to NWACA. But what people don't often think about is they also have responsibility, and they mentioned this in their assessment, for air quality and water quality. That has a huge impact on a rural community such as Geauga County. And so it is very concerning, some of the language that I've seen used in their assessment, which, by the way, their assessment, I wouldn't bear any decisions in this board based on their assessment. There are options that they did not bring up, I believe, if in fact we ever did want to contemplate that, and I would never suggest that at this point in time. But, so anyway, with that said, I wanted to raise that up to the board. I think there's more discussions that should be had about this, and we should be there on Friday to ask them what they're trying to do.
The first paragraph, the first item on here, action requested. No action is requested at this time. This item was recommended by the governance committee to be presented for discussion at the full board. So, the question in my mind is what, when, and why this has brought this to this point. However, as it says, it's there for discussion, no action. I'm sure they're not taking a vote on Friday on this, but I'm sure there's going to be some serious posturing taking place.
And I wouldn't be too sure about that. I mean, to be quite honest with you, I mean, if somebody were to make a motion on there, you never know what could happen. I mean, we just, it's this is a major danger for Geauga County as far as this should, if we requested this, it would be one thing.
I don't disagree with you.
But for a group that we have participated in and paid fees to belong to, and they have one of our commissioners as the president of their organization, that we're sitting in a position to be reviewed like this, and for us to find out, Blake, all respects, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, and we have been questioning and asking some questions about some of their practices. I've been outspoken against some of what they
and that's not an
do.
issue, because I think that's I mean, we should be able to agree that we could disagree and bring up concerns. That should not be a reason for them to basically take their toys and go home and throw us out of the game. It's just, this is pretty disheartening, and I don't know really what the answer is. I mean, it's a situation that we are obviously a small pea in that pod, but at the same time, this is something that really jeopardizes the health, safety, and welfare of this county. And there's also the issues with the 208 with the water, that if there were issues of that, where we can end up actually being charged for those services that right now we receive for nothing. So there's not nothing, but as part of that group, we're correct. So I'd love to know. I mean, I'm sure the county engineer is probably shaking his head too, wondering what the deal is. Have you talked to
No, I have not been able to touch base with him. I found out about this Sunday. You told me about it on Sunday. I came in here yesterday and asked to see the copy of the agenda.
We hadn't got
the agenda
it,
and we didn't have it, so Christy found it online, called down there, got it online.
So have we tried to talk to Grace at all?
Not yet.
I got these yesterday afternoon from Christy, and I've got 3 of them, I think.
So let me ask you this, Dave, if possible. This is Tuesday. We're going to be meeting again on Thursday for another meeting.
Right.
Could we get an update for Thursday's meeting, and possibly even something in writing from Grace that basically states exactly what the thought process is here, where exactly this originated?
Yeah, how did this even get on their agenda?
Right. And then we can discuss this on Thursday. And then at the same time too, I think that we need to just try to also possibly advise the prosecutor's office also to let them know that this is in process. I mean, this is pretty serious in nature, and this is, I mean, we basically put all of our eggs in that basket for funding for our roads, and we can't shortchange the residents of this county with this, and our engineering department of being operational. So
one of the options in there that I was reading yesterday, it talks about the governor having to approve removal. So I don't know that it's something that NOACA can just say, yes, we move to move you out. I think it has to be approved by the governor's office, because in there is a request by somebody else and the governor denied it. So I think that there's more into this that we have to look at.
It didn't say somewhere in here that we couldn't even, they want to throw us out, but we couldn't remove ourselves because of a certain portion being
correct
in the
urbanized
Cleveland urbanized area. So now they're saying, well, okay, maybe we'll just get rid of part of Geauga County and not the other part of Geauga County or whatever. And much like the issue before this, I got more questions than I got answers.
Well,
I don't.
Let me jump in here and just say, because I have looked at this a bit to see what the laws and the rules are that are associated with. I have the history, which has been documented. I think you all have a copy of that as part of an agenda that was completed. But their assessment is lacking. And so when you read their options in their assessment, just bear in mind that they did the assessment for their purposes, whatever that happens to be, and their assessment isn't complete and factual necessarily. And so I would suggest to you that we ought to, depending on where this goes, at some point in time, complete our own review of this. Because I can tell you, number one, and I won't get into it right now, there is another option they didn't put on the table. And so we can talk about that at a future date.
Is Mary going to be here on Thursday?
No.
Is there a way that we could arrange to phone her in on Thursday as part of the meeting?
Yeah.
I don't know what her flight is on Thursday.
She can't officially participate, but we might be able to get her on speakerphone. Yeah, she's going to be traveling on Thursday, so whether or not she'd be even available during the meeting time, I'm not sure.
I thought she was going to be here today, but.
No, after.
She's going to be home in time to go to the Milwaukee meeting
she'll be
on Friday.
That's what she told you.
I haven't communicated with her a lot, but I asked, because that thing at the fair board meeting, I was confirming with her whether or not she was going to be there. And she said she would be back in time for that, but she intended to be at the Milwaukee meeting the following morning.
Okay.
Because I asked Dave if he needed to go for her.
Right.
It wasn't discussed.
Right.
She left.
Right.
Okay. Is she receiving emails?
Yeah.
Because that might be another option also, to actually email her of her knowledge of this. It would be.
I'll email her, but I want to try and talk to Grace as well.
Response on that.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. So with that, I ask for a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
You're a little late.
I've been sitting here. I didn't know I had to hold my hand up. Is that the way you treat veterans? All veterans?
What's your question today?
I've been fighting with Department of Aging, and I have another meeting to have my 3 hours worth of legal work that they always deny me. The Department of Aging don't deny me, but the lawyers you send them to, which because I was a whistleblower and told you they weren't under contract with us, but I find out they might be under contract with Western Reserve, and I'm going to go there. I'm trying to get deeds straightened out. They say they can't do it. Why can't I go to somebody else and do it? We have a new person in charge there. She's straightening things out, but she's not even been in there a year yet.
So what is your question?
My question is, I want you to grandfather me 2 hours from the 2 other times I was there and be allowed to step out of the box and go to the Bar Association and get some lawyer to take care of what I need for the same amount of money that you would pay for something King department is one thing I would like to bring up. And I tried to do it in more formal things, but being a person with disabilities, I'm not good at putting it in writing for you guys. And then I have one more issue if you want to discuss this thing with the legal department. Because I'm tired of getting bullied by Geauga County. And I can show you a list of that.
And I think we've had this discussion before. This is kind of out of our bailiwick. It's not in our area of jurisdiction.
Yeah, but you run the Department of Aging, don't you?
We oversee the Department of Aging's budget, but they have their own protocols in place. I think that, like we had talked before, I think the best thing for you to do is to go to talk to the prosecutor's office.
Prosecutor refuses to take my calls.
I don't.
Who else should I go to? God?
Well,
he's busy.
He's busy right now. I don't know what. I really don't know what kind of an answer to give you, because it seems like I strike out every time I give you an answer.
I know, but your name's on this piece of paper.
It is. If you want to talk about the Department of Aging budget, I can talk to you about that. But other than that, I mean, I don't know what you want me to tell you.
You signed a contract with him and rushed into it. But you may not have been here. You might have been on vacation.
Right.
Right.
But I think at the end of the day, I understand your question about 60%. The other 40%, I just don't know what you want us to do. I can't pay your legal fees. We can't authorize that.
I know, but the rules say I'm allowed 3 hours, so they give me 1 hour, and I try to get the rest of my time, but they send me back to the same people. Why would you go to the same doctor if they can't help you?
Right. Hold on a second. Let me see if Jessica would be willing to speak on this.
Can I speak on this as the director of the Department on Aging?
Okay.
I've spoken with Mr. Segedy many times on the phone.
Okay.
He canceled his last legal appointment
Okay.
in this month. We were able to reschedule it. Unfortunately, our legal appointments, they do book up rather quickly.
I object to that. I did not cancel it. I asked to be changed.
We are booked through the end of the year. Every now and again, we will get a cancellation, so we have a spot open. We were fortunate to have another spot open in November that Mr. Segedy could have. What we have done, we have offered to give him the Ohio Bar Association to choose an attorney of his choice that he can pay for himself, and or even give him to legal aid. I believe they do offer some free services. What the Department on Aging does through our legal services, we offer up to 3 hours per senior based on availability. We have a contract in place for so many hours for this calendar year. So certainly we don't want to exceed it. Regarding the contract that Mr. Segedy continues to bring up, when I first started with the Department on Aging, we did not have a department-specific contract with the firm. They are a provider through the Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging, and the Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging puts out a request for a proposal, which Schraff and King law firm, they do request funds for. I put a department-specific contract in place with Schraff and King upon my start as a best practice because it was open-ended in the past and I wanted to put a cap on the amount of hours used per year. Under no time did Schraff and King ever lose business, lose clientele, or lose appointments to the Department on Aging throughout that process.
Can I ask a question, Jessica?
Sure.
You have a contract with them.
Yes.
For X number of hours per year.
Yes.
Individuals entitled to up to 3 hours in a calendar year, is that correct? Or
individuals may have up to 3 hours based upon availability.
Okay, and so as
we're full.
Right, if 1,000 people come and use the service, we've exceeded the number of hours that we have a contract for.
Potentially, yes.
Okay.
So why did you miss your appointment?
I did not miss my appointment. I asked to have it changed. They were able to change it. Prior to my appointment, I was trying to make an agenda for here on it, but I was getting behind and I didn't get it done.
Right, but you see what I'm saying.
I did not miss my appointment. It was changed before my appointment. My appointment, I think, was last Tuesday or something. I'm not sure what day it was. Oh, yeah, I do. I got the paper right here. My appointment was September 24th, but it was changed prior to that because they called me and said, we have an opening in November for you. So I just want to know, I did not miss my appointment. It was changed.
Okay.
I did come to the commissioner's office. I talked to people.
So they rescheduled it for November.
Right, before my appointment date.
Are you going to be able to make that appointment?
I am going to be there, but I hate to see people take county money and other people's money and not be able to work on deeds.
Okay, so what I would recommend is make sure that you make the effort to be at that appointment. If you run into another problem with that, then come back and see us. But at this point in time, I mean, you've got your appointment.
Right, when I went through my last appointment and nothing happened, and sure,
here's the thing,
Jessica was just in there.
Time, but you got an appointment.
Right.
We're trying to accommodate you. Jessica's taking the time to reschedule it.
Right.
Get you set up on that. Right. So let's get you your appointment and figure out.
She moved it. She did. She moved it before my appointment.
There's a set date right now for an appointment in November. Just try to be available to make that appointment.
If any one of you or Jessica wants to come to the appointment, you're more than welcome to see how the system works.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I think that we've only made some advances for the better to try to accommodate people and be as flexible as we can.
Right, and she got right on it when they found out there wasn't a contract, and I hear through the grapevine she is, working on next year's better, because she's trying to, get everything to where she wants it to be.
So take advantage of this appointment in November, and maybe we'll see you around Christmas.
All right. And then I had one other issue that I brought up before in regards to racketeering, and nobody on you weren't here, of course, but Blake and Mary was here, and the statute of limitation is running out, and you guys say, I don't know, do you say you don't care about racketeering in this county, or where they steal your property, or you don't want to make a phone call, because I can't make a phone call to the FBI and they don't listen to me. It has to go through somebody higher up, you know. And I wish somebody would make the phone call and let the FBI.
I mean, here's the thing: we're not law enforcement officials, so you're going to have to take that down the law enforcement route. You know, I would recommend. I mean, racketeering is a criminal charge.
Right.
We're not law enforcement. I'm not wiping my hands of it.
No, that was me. I'm done.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I would. I wasn't
All
making it bad, Judge.
Well, I appreciate you coming in, though. Thank you.
You know.
Okay.
I move to adjourn.
Second that.
Thank you.